Hare Krishna. Welcome to Tax Guru YouTube channel. This is CA Rohan Pingre, practicing chartered accountant based in Mumbai, also partner in Motilal and Associates LLP, member firm of Marks Network. Welcome to the video series Concurrent Audit of Bank Branches. Yes, and today is session 2. In session 1, we have covered Introduction to Concurrent Audit, and now in session 2, we are going to discuss legal and regulatory framework of concurrent audit. So let's dive into it. Let me allow to share my screen. Concurrent audit of bank branches, and today in session 2 we are going to discuss legal and regulatory frameworks. So let's start with our first slide. RBI guidelines on concurrent audit. Let's see overview. Under concept of concurrent audit under RBI framework, concurrent audit is a real-time transaction-based audit conducted simultaneously with operations. It is a continuous basis introduced by RBI as a risk mitigation and preventive control mechanism. It is a risk mitigation and preventive control mechanism. So it is not a substitute for statutory audit, internal audit, and also RBI inspection, but works as a first line of defense. Please remember, concurrent audit plays a role of a first time of defense. It is not a substitute for statutory audit, internal audit, and or RBI inspection. So objective of RBI in introducing concurrent audits are early detection of irregularities, frauds, income leakage, very important, and procedural lapses. So these four are prima objectives of concurrent audit, that is early detection of irregularities, any fraud, income leakages, or procedural lapses. So strengthening internal control is also another objective, and improving compliance culture at a branch level very need to be so, because at every branch there are number of employees, and means staff subjectivity depends on how they coming from various background, the staff at branch coming from various backgrounds. So we need to improve a compliance culture depends on the subjectivity of also staff. So that also need to be done. Continuous monitoring of high risk areas. Branches covered under concurrent audit. Let's see. RBI advises banks to place under concurrent audit large or very large branches, high advanced turnover branches, specialized branches like Forex, Treasury, MSME, digital banking, or centralized processing units. So branches with high NPS also covered, past frauds, weak compliance track records. So nature of concurrent audit as per RBI is ongoing audit. It's a audit on a continuous basis. Then transaction checking, it can be also said as a transaction audit, that is not a post-mortem but before anything would happen. So focus on exception reporting, where number of exception reports are generated in CBS 2. But many times what happen is that the branch staff who are operating the system don't know what CBS are giving the reports. This is happening in many banks actually. So we, as a concurrent auditor, we also need to see all reports generated by CBS. Emphasis on timely reporting, not voluminous reports. So this is a nature of concurrent audit. Next, move on to the next. What is the importance of master circulars directions applicable to the concurrent audit? So importance of RBI master circular is like RBI issues what? Master circulars, master directions annually. These consolidate what? Operative instructions as on a cutoff date. So concurrent auditors are expected to be fully conversant with these circulars, verify branch compliance on a continuous basis, comparing with these master circulars. So key areas where master directions impact the concurrent audit, that is concurrent auditors regularly need to examine compliance with KYC, AML, anti-money laundering, CFT master directions, advances in with related to advances, income recognition, asset classification, provisioning. Then we need to see priority sector lending, government business and pension payments, forex and FEMA regulations, digital payments, UPI, NEFT, RTGS, fraud classification and reporting framework. So these need to be, we need to examine compliance with those factors. Let's see what are the practical expectations from the concurrent auditor. Identify non-compliance at transaction stage only. Means many times what happened, there are loopholes or leakages at the time of transaction, so we need to be identify anything on non-compliance at transaction stage. So the role of the concurrent auditor is that at a transaction level. So report deviations immediately if you have any. Suggest corrective action and not a policy framing. Please note down what concurrent auditor role is what suggesting a corrective action, and it is not a policy framing. Keep track of latest circular updates. Many times it has happened that as an auditor we go beyond little bit our scope, but that is not, we are not forming a policy. We can suggest a corrective actions but not forming a policy making authority. So we need to be very means need to be very careful what is our role and scope. So keep track of latest circular updates too. Let's see role of concurrent audit under Banking Regulation Act. Banking Regulation Act is the backbone, okay? So it empowers RBI to regulate the banking operations, issue directions, inspect the banks and ensure what depository protection. Indirect statutory recognition of concurrent audit is though concurrent audit is not expressly defined in the act, RBI's power under section 21, 35 and 35 justify its mandate. Banks implement concurrent audit as a part of internal control system, but it is not an internal audit required under regulatory framework. As in my first session also, it is not an internal audit. It can be, one can say it can be a part of internal audit. So bank implement the concurrent audit as a part of internal control system required under regulatory framework, but it is not at all an internal audit. Let's understand relationship with a statutory audit. Very important. Concurrent audit supports true and fair financial reporting, early correction before year end. Findings of the concurrent audit influence statutory audit risk assessment are reviewed during RBI inspection. So let's move on to the next RBI inspection and supervisory expectations. How RBI uses concurrent audit outputs. RBI inspectors examine the quality of the concurrent audit reports, timeliness of reporting, action taken by branch and controlling officers. So we, as a concurrent audit, we need to be very careful. Means there is also the other, we can say, authority who observe our work too. So we need to be very careful and need to be very good in our service to provide a good output from our services. So RBI inspectors examine our work, our quality of concurrent audit reports, timeliness of reporting. Means where in many banks branches the audit report need to be submitted before the next following month's date, that is like 10 or 15th of the next month. So we need to be very regular and consistent basis. We need to be upload our or file up our reports within a due date given by zonal officers. So that also be checked by RBI inspectors. So action taken by branch and controlling officers also checked by RBI inspectors uh, related to our concurrent audit. So weak concurrent audit is nothing but an adverse supervisory comment. So we need to be very careful doing our work. So expectations from concurrent auditors, RBI expects what? Independence and objectivity. No involvement in day-to-day operations. That is also very important. We are not required to disturb their day-to-day operations. Okay, so that is also need to be taken care of. So no involvement in day-to-day operations, focus on material and risk sensitive issues. We very please note this point. We need to focus on a material and risk sensitive issues. Immediate escalation of fraud, serious irregularities, and persistent non-compliance. So this RBI expects from us, that is independence and objectivity, no involvement in day-to-day operations, focus on material and risk-sensitive issues, and immediate escalation of frauds, serious irregularities, and persistent non-compliance. So supervisory concerns commonly noted by RBI is mechanical reporting, cut paste observations. These we need to be very careful. Many times we cut copy paste, but we need to be enhance our quality of service. We don't need to be use a cut copy paste. So this is what RBI is very concerned about: mechanical reporting, cut paste observations, delay in reporting serious issues, over familiarity with the branch staff. This also need to be, we need to be keep a distance between us and the staff. We do not don't need to be go much over familiarity with the branch staff or branch manager. We that also need to be very we need to take care of. So non-escalation of repeat observation. So these are the supervisory concerns commonly noted by the RBI. What are they? Mechanical reporting, cut paste observations, delay in reporting serious issues, over familiarity with branch staff, and non-escalation of repeat observations. So moving on forward, ICAI guidance relevant to concurrent auditors. So guidance note on audit of banks 2025 issued manually, issued annually by ICAI, though primarily for statutory audit. It provides regulatory background, RBI expectations, and banking operational insight. So it is helpful for concurrent auditors too. So concurrent auditors must be familiar with advanced verification principles, fraud risk indicators, and internal control concepts. Ethical standards and code of conduct. Concurrent auditors are bound by ICAI Code of Ethics, professional skepticism, confidentiality requirements, and independent norms too. And standards on auditing, the relevance of it is though standards are not strictly applicable, but concepts of professional judgment, documentation, materiality, risk assessment are highly relevant. Moving further, responsibility and accountability of concurrent auditors. So, what is the responsibility towards the bank and regulator? Act as what? Eyes and ears of the management. Act as the eyes and ears of the management. Provide early warning signals. Ensure compliance with RBI directives. This is what our main role or main duty towards the management. What actions they want have to take on, it completely depends on them. But what is our role? That need to be very clear and cluster. So we act as the eyes and ears of the management, provide early warning signals, ensure compliance with RBI directives. So professional accountability, concurrent auditor may held accountable for gross negligence, suppression of material facts, failure to report known irregularities, and complexity or connivance. So, what I want to say is that wherever you found anything, discuss with branch manager first. Note down in your working papers you whatever your opinion, whatever you think about whether it is irregularity or not, it is after the point. But whenever you find something which is need to be discussed with the branch manager first, and then if things persist, you can go beyond that, is you can report to the zonal officers in zonal office. So what is important is that we should discuss whatever known means we can't ignore the known irregularities, we need to be reported. Okay, legal exposure, disciplinary action by ICAI, removal from bank audit panel, reputational damage, and in extreme cases, legal proceedings too. So these are the legal exposure if concurrent auditor found guilty of disciplinary action by ICAI, removal from bank audit panel, reputational damage, or in extreme cases, the legal proceedings too. So let's move on to the next slide. That is the conclusion. Before coming to the conclusion, we let's have some practical difficulties faced by let's have a discussion on a practical difficulties faced by concurrent auditors. What is happened is that many times frequent regulatory changes is happening, means continuous RBI circular updates, so we need to be regularly updated. We need to see weekly or fortnightly any updates, any circular of RBI is there or not. We need to be there because no one can help in this regard. So we need to be very careful about the updates. Difficulty in keeping branch staff aligned, implementation gaps at a ground level. We face these practical difficulties. Many times resistance from branch staff for getting information, whatever required informations. So means why staff resisting? They have a mindset that a concurrent audit is a fault finding. So whenever you start any concurrent audit or you are doing a concurrent audit, we need to win a trust of the staff too, or a trust of the branch manager too. That is, we are not a fault finder. We are a value adding services. We need to win their trust that we are adding a value to their services and not we are as a fault finder. So we need to work on this aspect. When we won the trust of the staff, branch staff or branch manager, the work will be very very easy. Easy in a sense that they will definitely on their own come out with any issues they are facing. So that is the main crux of it. So we need to provide and show them or disclose them the way that we are a value providing a value added services and not only a fault finder. So that is the noting point of today's session too. And at the time there are many large transactions volumes also, so it limited audit manpower is also a main practical difficulties, pressure to cover everything, and so it dilutes our focus. But whatever the practical difficulties are there, we need to be we need to be very very, and it depends upon what our own will, that we are a value adding service. The concurrent audit is a value adding service and not only a regular compliance activity, not only a compliance activity. So it depends on a particular auditor, how he approaches it. So moving on to the conclusion, as I said, it's not merely a checking mechanism, but a regulatory tool to ensure discipline, compliance, and depository protection. So a concurrent audit must balance regulatory expectations, professional judgment, and practical realities of banking operations by keeping in that practical realities of banking operation. So that's it for today's session. That is session 2 on concurrent audit. Thank you. Thank you so much for patient hearing. Hope you are getting valuable knowledge from this video series. Please note down my contact numbers. If you have any observation, queries, suggestion, then do let me know via email, WhatsApp, or you can also comment below the video. So thank you so much. If you are not yet subscribed Tax YouTube channel, then do subscribe it for latest updates and video series like this. Bye bye. Take care. See you soon. Hare Krishna.